I don't know. I don't know how to do cold opens. I've been watching Mindhunter again, or at least the season 2, and I just love
Okay.
the fucking cold opens. We're getting more
In
about the
Mindhunter?
BTK. Yeah. What was your question?
I was asking the show was called Mindhunter.
Yeah. Your mom was watching it. We shared the story like you shared the story like I think 2 years ago when the first season came out. Well, your mom was watching one of the episodes and you saw the cold open. And it was about the BTK killer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the weird like yeah, the back in the 19 whatever's
Mm-hmm.
80s and yeah, the weird psych stuff.
Yep.
I fucking love the BTK killer. Obviously not like in the, what he
In the
did was
fetishist
cool and
way.
just yeah. It's more of like a, from a perspective of like as a weird fucked up individual. It's interesting to read about like the weird fucked up shit that weird fucked up individuals do.
Mm-hmm. And his connection to like someone's Son of Sam as well.
Yeah.
Right now they're going through this arc in Atlanta where they're trying to find a suspected serial killer who's going after little black kids.
Hmm.
But the community thinks it's the KKK, and our main character thinks it's a black serial killer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting. His main theory is that a white dude in the neighborhood like would stand out immediately,
Hmm.
whereas a black guy, he's just a black dude among other black dudes.
Right.
So
All right, I
it'd be
guess it makes sense.
yeah, it'd be less
Yeah.
because like because everyone all the kids just kind of suddenly disappear without like any witnesses thinking it's a crime.
Uh-huh.
That's why he thinks the person who's doing these crimes is part of the community.
Ah, okay.
While
I
our
can understand the
yeah,
logic.
while the community is like it's probably some KKK dude. And we're
Right.
gonna we haven't gotten into like the conflict between those two theories yet, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Also the fact that generally speaking, the profile for serial killer is white male.
Yep. But they did actually interview Rance, the black serial killer
Mhm.
who killed I think three women, one soldier and two black women. Well, talks of serial killer aside, this isn't a true crime podcast because there's already like a fuck ton of those. Welcome back to ABC, which doesn't stand for All About Crime. Boom, I got it.
Nice segue.
Boom.
Stands for Anime Book Club.
Epic
We're
Book
back
Club,
with
episode
another one.
80.
Back with an actual week-to-week cast again.
Yep. I'm Eric.
And I am
Oh,
James.
no, I'm Brandon. Fuck! Ah!
I was like, I guess we're doing middle names today.
That's not my middle name.
I know it's not your middle name, but it's, whatever. You
I'm,
go by
ha-
your middle name, I go by my first name, so we were doing other names,
I'm
I'll
having
say.
a Dairy Crisis.
we,
Wait,
we
what?
have we do this every week, so you should be used to saying Brandon by now.
God damn it. Fuck,
Or
whatever.
you're just getting old, so you're
Let's talk
getting
about
used to
Dr.
introducing
Stone.
yourself by your business name.
Let's talk about Dr. Stone.
You need to be more like me. Consider yourself a businessman.
I'm the pip known
Gus,
as
what if I don't?
BZ.
Gus, what if I don't see myself as a businessman? What if I see myself more as a businessman?
Hi, we're black and tan. He's tan, I'm black.
Racist.
Oh,
All right, so
Dr.
let's
Stone.
get into some Doctor Stone.
So basically, in this episode, the Stone Wars are starting.
Yes,
Totally
because
not Star Wars.
Tsukasa decides, basically, despite the fact that we say Senku's dead, because we don't see his body, that means we have to go burn down a village. Because Tsukasa logic.
To be fair to Scasa, he's just trying to tie up every loose end.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, when you are one of like, 100 people that are alive right now, burning down a village, probably not the best idea.
Once again, Tsukasa like just doesn't give a shit. According going by Tsukasa's logic, I guess it makes sense. I don't fucking know. Tsukasa's fucking idiot. As we'll get into literally right now, where all of his like men are like in their mid-30s. Those aren't fucking
Yeah.
teenagers. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Greedy shit. Greedy adults. He fucking hired the greedy adults. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, those are some straight up like 30-year-old goons right there.
He immediately went against his manifesto. Like
Yeah,
the
seriously.
first fucking thing.
Other than the one dude in the Edgelord cape who might be a teenager, still don't super believe that, but we'll let him pass because we can't really see. Those other dudes, straight up like late 20s, early 30s, fucking yakuza
Yeah.
goons.
Also, again counts in the kind of teenage. I think he's like 18 or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, Gen is yeah. I think they say Gen is 18 or 17.
Yeah.
And like he drops out of school, but he is like high school age technically.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember correctly when they introduced him, they say that.
High school, early college. Who knows?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, realistically, Senku should be in college. He should just have skipped like all of the grades and be in college, but whatever. But yeah,
schooling.
so they get attacked by the Goon Squad. We have the defense of the bridge by
Like Ginro,
Ginro.
who successfully defends it by just standing there with the stick.
Yeah.
Because fighting, as we've been told twice actually this episode, that trying to attack a long stick on a narrow bridge really fucking sucks. It's not that easy.
Yeah. Not only is it not that easy, in logic of the show, it's literally impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that that's logically not correct, they insist it's literally impossible to fight a long stick with a short stick. So Kinro wins immediately against the goons, but then we have the other dude who steps up with the magical twirling bamboo stick. Because apparently fighting a stick that spins in a circle is impossible to figure out.
Well, also he's got bad eyesight. So I guess both of those things, impossible to figure out.
Yeah. The bad eyesight thing for Kinro makes sense. I will complain more about this when we have the second round of the fighting. But Kinro, his bad eyesight does get noticed by the guy, so I guess he exploits it intentionally and ends up poking him off the bridge. Ginro was told if his brother should fall, you have to cut the bridge and save the village. Elects not to instead because, sacrificing your brother is predictably sort of hard to do. So instead, Senku has to improvise and basically creates kind of a gun, more like a noisemaker than anything.
He just needs a big bang.
Yeah. So he creates a thing that explodes, and Gen gets Magma to throw a rock at a wall so that it makes the right noise near them of something hitting the ground.
Mm-hmm. To fake a working gun.
Yeah.
This works on the goons because they're all fucking idiots.
Gun. Yeah. They're all fucking morons. But, at the same time, if I was standing on a narrow bridge and the dude was holding a rifle, even if I was like, I'm pretty certain that's not a rifle, still would not want to be the first one to go down the bridge towards the rifle. So I can kind of understand in that instance being like, I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure you're lying, but I'm going to pretend like you're telling the truth and go away for now. So they decide, discretion is the better part of valor, and they back off for today. And so, Gen goes with because he's still pretending to be on Tsukasa's side. So we now have the Kingdom of Science with one man, behind enemy lines.
3 men, but, the other 2, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. And then we have Tsukasa or not Tsukasa, but what's his name? Edgelord McEdgison.
White hair,
Lord of
whatever.
the Bamboo. Yeah. Lord of the Bamboo Spear. And the 3 goons, who are basically deciding among themselves how to attack the village again. Despite the fact that he's obviously the leader, or should be the leader, Whitehair does not in any way contribute to the deciding of the battle plan. Don't really understand that. Like, they literally set him up as, like, he's also really badass, just like Tsukasa. Why is this bitch not in charge?
Well, he's in charge. He's the one that says we're gonna go attack during, No, they would expect us to attack during rain. We have to attack them now, right away.
Yeah.
He makes the ultimate decision.
But instead, he doesn't make the ultimate decision. One of the other idiots makes a decision where he's like, we're going to attack during the rain, and they had to wait 3 days for the rain to come. That's why they don't just run it back immediately.
Oh, that does happen. I forgot about that part. Damn it.
Yeah. That's why I'm upset, because that dude should be in charge. He should be making the ultimate decisions, but he's not for some reason.
I don't know. Because, like, the faces the goons against are right now higher ranked than he is for some reason.
Some stupid reason.
Well,
despite the fact that, again, Tsukasa's empire is supposed to be based on, like, how good of a fighter you are. This dude is clearly the baddest of the badasses, and yet somehow is not in charge.
Aside from that, in the Kingdom of Science, we're just making steel swords. We're making katanas, folded only twice, so they're inferior to the 1,000-fold katanas that we have in modern day.
But still, according to the show, literally the greatest sword ever conceived of. Fuck the English cavalry sword and the fact that if you hit a katana with an English cavalry sword, it bends in half. Factually, the katana, the greatest sword of all time.
The greatest sword is actually his right-hander. Just putting that out there, but anyways.
I still will field the English cavalry sword as the best sword of all time.
I'm going by Dark Souls logic, so I hand her every day. Or
I
Black
see
Steel
now.
Sword.
I was going for swords that I could realistically pick up. If you gave me a Zweihander and you were like, here, pick this up off the ground, I'd be like, fuck no.
Man, you can spin that shit. Just grab it by the hilt and just do a little helicopter.
Just do a helicopter.
Yeah, pretend like you're in Monster Hunter.
One of two things would happen. I would drop it and stab myself in the shoulder, or, I don't know, I would drop it and stab myself in the dick.
At that point, you just wait for like them to spin around away from you, and then just stab them in the back.
That's fair.
Anyways, we make a bunch of katanas. We give it to the Weeb army, and then we wait for the 3 days. Finally, we get the fucking second round. We get the little second wave.
As our idiots come marching back out of the forest and back down the one bridge, because we couldn't possibly have conceived of an aquatic assault, because despite the fact that they're on an island in the middle of a lake,
They're on
and
a cliff,
you can
though.
swim out. I mean, you can climb up cliffs, Brendan.
You can climb up cliffs, but like it's still climbing a cliff. It's still kind of hard.
I mean, yeah, but at the when you get to the top, you're inside the village, and then you can just, fuck them up as much as you want. Now they have to go down the bridge again. But instead, we have our army of weeb ninjas who jump out with their katanas.
By the way, where were they hiding?
On the
'Cause
cliff, I guess?
They jump behind Senku, who's just standing in the middle of the bridge.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with they were hiding, like, on the cliff and jumped up from beneath.
Fucking
But
sure.
I don't know. I'll be honest. So, really, I think the only reason this happened is because, one, the author wanted there to be katanas, and two, he wanted to draw in those panels of all of the people, and specifically the girl in fucking robes and shit.
How about it?
I mean, it was a solid, graphic that they threw up there of all of them in their samurai gear, but it wasn't even samurai gear. It was just like decorative robes and shit.
Yeah.
But it was still, it was a nice little like artistic depiction kind of thing. But then we have the katanas as they destroy the stone weapons because steel beats rock. That kind of makes sense. But then we have the magical bamboo twirler step back up, and again, the fact that it goes in a fucking circle. You could literally just stick your katana out in a straight line, and it would hit the katana and cut in half because it's fucking bamboo against razor sharp steel. They can't figure out how to defeat a circle.
I don't know. Bamboo's pretty hard though.
I mean, yeah, but even if you just stop it with your sword, somebody else could come and hack it from the other side, or just stab the dude.
Oh, there's no response for that. Yeah.
But yeah, they can't figure out a circle, and instead, we basically have what's her name?
There's a little alley-oop going on.
Yeah, we have Magma run in and basically get stabbed a whole bunch because he's an idiot, and then we have Kohaku basically do an alley-oop off his back and go for an above the head, like over the top, stab you in the back kind of thing. But the circle, an undefeatable shape, he, the dude with the bamboo spear swings the circle up to stab her in the stomach as she's doing her magical jump, and the thing breaks in half. And now we realize that our agent behind the lines has been our friend all the time, although kind of we knew that. Senku basically says, like, yeah, he's still our friend.
Gen is fucking cheap. The surprise there is that he sent Suika with a little like razor knife to Gen.
Yeah.
Not that Gen is still good, or Gen is bad now good. Although Kinro being the fucking idiot he is, like, oh my god, he's bad then good then bad again, or good then bad then good again.
I'm convinced that they just don't tell Kinro things on purpose.
Kinro's a fucking idiot.
Kinro is what's his name? The dude from Kung Fury. Or not Kung Fury, Wimplo. He's Wimplo.
Wimplo. We've framed him wrong as a joke.
Yeah, that is Kinro. We intentionally don't tell him things because he's an idiot.
Please, no, don't fight Wimplo. He couldn't kill a child.
He's weak, like a child. Ah, I see. You like your foot to my face style, but how do you like my fist to your fist to my nut style? Oh.
I am bleeding, making me the victor.
References aside, yes. So we now, see the revelation of Gen has always been on our side and used the little pocket knife to slice just enough of the wrap that kept the stabby end on the end of the bamboo spear, so that in the heat of battle, right when he's doing the full-on circle at full speed, it breaks and shatters and he's left without a weapon. And now we're basically just left staring at each other while our team all holds katanas and he holds a broken bamboo stick, basically.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just kill him right away. I don't know what
Realistically,
their morals are on that as
yeah.
well.
I mean, he tried to kill them twice now.
In this case, like if I was the god in this RTS, I would just be like right clicking them like just furiously, just kill them, just kill them right
Just kill
now.
them. Kill them all.
I could make more.
I mean, realistically, the other three idiots should be dead. The three goons should be dead.
Yeah, they're just standing there, like you're wondering what the fuck's going on. They
They
just saw a
ran
girl
in with
jump in the
stone
air.
axes, got their shit shattered. Like they should have been stabbed multiple times right now.
Yeah, it just
But
took
yeah,
a
we'll
couple
see.
times.
We'll see what happens with this dude and the rest of the Stone Wars.
Well, it's like Stone versus Iron Age wars now. Like
It really is.
you can't like not invest in technology if you're playing an RTS. You gotta fucking do it at some point.
I mean, yeah. Tsukasa is about to learn that the hard way, as
Like
his army is about to get steamrolled.
Tsukasa's like Zerg rushing in the 10th minute. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do right now.
So the problem was that their bases were super far apart, and Tsukasa just A-clicked all the way over. And he also A-clicked like his third and second base and his natural first for no particular reason. So by the time that the Zergs actually get there, the dude has actually built up like several stalkers already.
Pew pew pew.
All I know is how Protoss responds to Zerg Rush. I'll be honest. All I know is gate and build stalkers.
You could also just make a gate at your wall and just one zealot, and then you're safe.
I mean, you're safe-ish, but enough Zergs. Like, if you immediately Zerg rush, you're safe. But if you like you do a timing with enough Zergs, you can overpower that, and then you need to put up turrets behind it.
Pew,
It's a whole
pew.
thing. But StarCraft 2 aside, a game that we don't play nearly enough to have meaningful conversations about. What else do you expect from the Tsukasa v Senku war?
Man, I don't fucking know. Like Senku has knives and shit like that work.
Yeah, but
Tsukasa literally has fucking rocks.
Tsukasa's first attack was an attack with 4 dudes. Like, at some point, for a war to destroy the village or whatever, like, you have to expect Tsukasa to field more of an army than 4 dudes.
See, at this point, like the strategy that I would go with is just roll up the bridge, make a bunch of crossbows, and then just shoot them from the side, or like shoot them from the island.
I mean, realistically, that would work. Even against an aquatic assault, they still have to swim out there, and as long as you could see them, you could just shoot them with the crossbows
And
in
if
the
when
water.
they're climbing up the cliff, just shoot down.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
or just make acid and go with an old-fashioned medieval tactic.
Oh, just here, do what Bugs Bunny did, and just put arrows to the acid fields or the acid crater, and just
Uh-huh.
like put a fake like little town in the middle of it. Boom. I'm not in
In the middle.
Albuquerque.
In the middle of the whatever it was, hydrosulfuric acid crater.
Yeah.
Have them all choked to death. That'd be a solid plan, actually. It would realistically probably kill more people than we're expecting for Tsukasa. But yeah, I've got to say, like, when we first met Tsukasa and his like magical powers of abduction, where he's like, "I've looked at some pottery and deduced exactly where they're going," like they kind of portrayed Tsukasa as like he's a
Super
decently
smart,
smart
yeah.
dude, and now he's kind of acted like an idiot. I need to go burn down this village. I'm going to send 3 of my stupidest individuals and 1 guy who's pretty competent. That should be enough.
I don't know. Yeah. We have to have the power creep somehow, right? Like we can't just finish this off immediately. There has to be an arc.
I mean, you are logistically correct for like it to be a shonen show in which like things progress in a logical manner. Yes, but from like a tactics point of view, I'm kind of upset with Tsukasa.
Well, I mean,
like,
even then,
logically,
it could have been written better in more
Yeah.
like interesting ways than just
Yeah.
3 goons show up and they immediately don't do anything.
3 goons show up, charge a bridge with a dude with a spear, get defeated. They show up
Do
3
the
days
same
later
thing.
and charge the bridge again. Yeah.
Do the same, except this time 4 people are fighting us instead of just the one dude on the bridge.
Yeah. This is a classic committing
Classic
the
blunder.
same mistake. Yeah. Doing the same thing again and expecting different results. We also did gloss over the fact that Kinro got glasses.
Oh yeah.
Dude can see.
I can fight.
He's decided that his fuzzy eye disease isn't like a handicap from God he has to overcome or whatever his logic was before. He decided, like, maybe this whole science thing
Yo,
I should
fuck
just
God.
accept.
I can do what I want. I'll put on glasses.
What you're telling me is I can just listen to science instead of God. Perfect.
I'm waiting for the religious cult. That's gonna happen at some point. Watch.
There's gonna be a religious cult.
I fucking hope so.
See, but they're gonna be a religious cult of something weird, like stone people religious cult or something.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting at least.
It would be interesting.
That would also make sense.
Stone people are our gods. Or like the spirits of the gods or something. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. It would be very interesting. It would be something further down the line when they get more into like the, trying to like unfreeze people.
Yeah.
Dude, it would make sense for there to be like a cult of the stone people who are like, you're unfreezing our angels or something, and we're upset with them and start like a religious war. Would be very touchy subject for a shonen manga, but it'd be interesting.
Well,
but
all that aside, I believe we should now start talking about Babylon.
Babylon.
Right.
Let's go for it. You have already seen you saw the first 3 episodes. Talk to me about it. Convinced us to watch it, and then I watched the first 3, and we watched episode 4.
Yes.
For this week.
Exactly.
So,
would you like to sum up your impressions on it?
Okay. I asked you a little bit about at the end when we were talking about Babylon about why they presented the 3 episodes together, and then are going to do like the rest of them sort of week to week.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, after watching episode 4, I kind of think I understand it. It's like the first 3 was basically like the intro into what the show is about.
Yes.
Where with the first episode we have sort of the introduction of the conspiracy and the voter manipulation and all sorts of things that's going into this the mayoral elections for this.
And the girl.
Yeah, the new town and the girl. We're going to call her Linda McCartney, and I'll explain why later. It's a joke that I make exclusively for myself, but I still like it.
It's completely fine. We'll call her Linda.
So, yeah, Linda McCartney is, in the context of the first episode, just this girl who basically gets, like, pimped out to this head of, like, some sort of workers' union, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's, like, the head of a workers' union to basically manipulate the votes to get all those workers to vote for a certain candidate. And they expect it to be this older candidate who's like the front runner basically, but I think even in that episode they realize it's actually all connected back to this younger candidate.
Yes. I think that's in the second episode, but yes, at some point they do figure out that it's connected to Ikutsuki. It's Ikutsuki. Yeah, it's Ikutsuki.
So they realize it's connected back to this guy, and the 2 detectives, our main detective, help me out here.
I have no idea. I
Okay.
don't remember his name. There's so many fucking names, Nick.
There are a lot of names. This is why I'm calling the girl Linda McCartney, and now her actual name is, because I don't remember it.
Well, let's call her Holden.
Holden?
Yes, that's a Mindhunter reference.
Okay. Is it so Holden and his partner?
Doesn't matter. He's gonna die.
Yeah, dead dude.
Yeah. His name's
Holden and
Naofumi.
dead dude.
Actually, I think it's Naofumi.
Okay, that makes sense. Sure. Naofumi, dead dude. They basically split up as they were trailing this whole thing that's going down. Naofumi follows the girl, and Holden follows basically the guy who's organizing this whole thing.
Yeah. Back
to the politician's like headquarters.
Mullet guy.
Yeah. Naofumi basically figures out what this girl's doing with he doesn't figure it out so much as they go to a hotel together, and he's like, there's really only one reason why people go to hotels in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Despite when they live in the town. So he figures that one out real quick. And
decides to follow her.
Yeah, follows her home, sees where she lives.
To Holden's if I remember correctly, Holden advises him not to do that.
I think so. But he follows her back to her place and basically is like, oh yeah, she lives at this apartment. And then he goes home and basically says like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, we're on the right track. We're going to get these guys. Goes home, sends Holden a text message basically saying like, goodbye, so long, and thanks for all the fish.
That we
and
don't
then
see
kills
just
them.
yet.
Yeah, we don't. Well, we see
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
We just
yes.
can't speak Japanese. I guess we also don't see the bottom of it. So even if we did, we may not be able to tell what it is. But we find out later that it is in fact a suicide note. And when Holden busts into the apartment, we see Naofumi hanging from his balcony.
That's also not how you tie a noose.
That's also absolutely not how you tie a noose.
But maybe he didn't know. I don't know. Anyways, he's dead.
Yeah. This ties into another suspected suicide that we started this with, where a doctor basically hooked himself up to an anesthesia machine and ended up dying. And they ruled it a suicide, but we believe at the beginning it to not be a suicide.
Mm-hmm. That he was killed. It was a homicide.
So now we have this, sex for votes thing tied into two
homicides for something thing.
Yeah. So now we have something to figure out for Holden to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Which then begins the next phase of his investigation, where he tries to figure out, basically, get the girl.
Yep. Either get a confession or get her into an interrogation.
Yeah.
Which he ends up doing the latter part. And interrogates
so
her.
He goes and collects her in the second episode, where we see kind of through cuts between the interrogation and cuts between how he got to the interrogation, what was going on, where basically he followed her off to this hot springs inn that was attached to this golf tournament, sees her go into the golf tournament side where all of the heads of the unions were, sees her go in with the organizer of this whole sex for votes thing, sees her come out the day after three guys leave, three specific union heads that they noticed earlier were all, despite being parts of different voting blocks basically.
Basically big, they were influencers in the actual sense.
Yeah. And they were all from different campaigns. They all were part of this golf thing, and so they have, Holden has suspicions that they are going to try and the group doing this sex for votes thing is going to try and influence them at this event.
Mm-hmm.
So after the event, he collects the girl, and then we could talk about the interrogation sequence.
I'm gonna love the interrogation.
It's really interesting. They kind of do a little bit of cinematography stuff, which is sort of on the nose, if I can say so myself, or if if you feel it's fair to say, I felt it was kind of on the nose.
How so?
I mean, the way they cut it between they would have her perspective constantly encroaching on his, they would have him, and then her perspective would kind of physically encroach on him. They had the cut where her head was interposed on his body. It was sort of very obvious about we're trying to produce the effect of her influence on him, or her sort of way of thinking about the world in this instance.
I fucking loved all of it.
It was cool. But I really liked the more what they were talking about, which was kind of interesting because it kind of goes into the two characters who I think are going to be important characters.
Yes, basically our main character, and what I assume is going to be our main villainess.
I guess.
Because in this is the episode where she shines out of the four that we see. Because in the fourth episode, she basically isn't anywhere to be found, and in the third episode, she kind of just there for a couple of scenes, and that's it.
Yeah, she's only there for a revelation at the end.
Yeah. Still an important scene, but we don't get to see more of her. Not acting, but her. Just we don't get to see more of her. Mm-hmm. Just being her and being fucking creepy and great.
Yeah. And so they have this long back and forth where basically Holden, our main character, is presenting his views on justice and morality and all this stuff. There's the boring beginning part of the interrogation where she admits to having sex with them because whatever. Not for votes, but because she loves them, because love at first sight and all this stuff. Who cares about that?
I'm pretty sure she's lying.
I don't actually. I kind of believe her.
Okay.
Well, at least that she had sex with them. Not that she loves them.
She had sex with them, but I don't think she actually loves them. I think that part was fake. Or her.
Oh yeah, I don't think she loves them. She just had sex with them for whatever, for Linda McCartney reasons. We'll get into that. I'm pretty sure she actually. When we talk about episode 3.
I think the sex for votes things I think is part of it. I think that part's true. Mm-hmm. God, there's we need a fucking board for this. I know
we do.
We need to be Charlie.
Basically
how I felt watching this fucking show, which makes me love it even more. But anyways, yeah. I think the sex for those things is real. I don't think she actually loves them. I think that part's fake.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she definitely had sex with them.
Do you think she's interested in Holden?
Yes, she's gonna do something. She's gonna try to do something at some point, I think. Especially given the way they talked about, like, he tried to, like, or she tried to, make him talk about his family. That part, like,
Is he still
creepy.
married?
I don't know. I think he has his ring finger. I think he has a ring on his ring finger, so I think so.
Oh, okay. I didn't look at that. It was just something about the way that he was talking to his wife in the 4th episode.
Very
It just
detached.
made me feel like, yeah, like very attached. And it was like, there was just some comment specifically. I can go back and look for it specifically. I don't remember exactly what he said anymore. There was just some comment he made where I was like, that feels like the kind of thing you would only say about an ex-wife.
Okay. We don't know. Maybe. That's possible.
So, yeah. Maybe he isn't married. Maybe, I don't know. It's just a Holden thing.
For sure he has a
We'll
kid.
see. He does have a kid.
I
He
believe,
talks about the kid a little bit.
I think his name's Asuma. I think he says in his first episode, or even second episode, I don't remember.
I'm willing to accept that. There are a lot of names. I've forgotten most
Yeah.
of them.
Yep. So, keep going.
Yeah, so we have the interrogation where, again, yeah, we interrogate her. It's boring. Who cares? There's possibly some lies. We'll find out.
We get
But then
the
interesting thing,
cross-interrogation where they're both arguing with each other is the actual, like, meat of this, basically,
Yeah.
scene.
where we kind of discuss Holden's very black and white views on the world. Things are good or things are bad, and like in his mind, there is no in between. And she kind of pushes on that of like, you say that this is good, and you say that the opposite is also good. Why? How can both of these two things be true? And like, she sort of pushes at the edges of his like sort of
Philosophy.
mental philosophy. And then we get Holden leaves to go do something, and she works her Linda McCartney magic on the stenographer and leaves, walks out of the police department, and disappears. And then Holden sort of screams his anger to the sky, and we go on to episode 3, where
we
we're
actually
back on the
confront
case.
the politicians in this episode.
Yeah. So we realize at the end of last episode, he goes in to give his Holden goes in to give his presentation on what's going on, and one of the mayoral candidates, the front runner that we were suspecting, walks in to hear the proposal or the progress of the case. So starting episode 3, we get a little bit more of what's going on in this town, where we learn that despite being the front runner tells us that it's actually the young dude who
Going
was
to win.
connected to all this stuff that was going to win. It was basically decided that he has to win to be the face of this new town so that it can work. And so we talk a little bit about him, and we talk about the town and how it works and their whole system of government and trying to create a new way of life based on, I don't really understand any of this stuff, I'll be
Basically,
honest.
it's kind of, well, the most important part is that laws are easier to pass in this city because they've got like a degree of autonomy.
Hmm.
That's where like the important stuff comes in. Everything
Yeah.
else, I'm just like, I don't. This is all legal talk. I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. I don't even know if it's
Right,
true
yeah.
or not.
Didn't really understand like the point of most of it. They're like, it's an experimental town for, and then like didn't understand at all what the experiment actually was. They were like, yeah, it's an experiment.
I think the experiment is just if we can pass laws easier, what will happen? Like, if basically it's just like anti-deregulation on steroids.
All right,
Because that's
I
what
guess that makes sense
part of it
for
was.
what's happened.
That's why like there are all the union bosses there is because they've got like they basically have almost no regulation. That's why there's just a ton of building everywhere and construction. That's the
All right,
part of what I gathered from it.
I'm willing to accept that. But they certainly do have more sort of autonomy as a town in producing their own laws, and that was sort of the point of the whole experiment,
Spiel.
as far as I understood, was
Yeah.
they were some new town that was supposed to model basically the creation of a new country, was what they were basically modeling with this town.
Yeah, make it smaller scale, make it go by faster. To figure out what are the best ways to do it.
Yeah. What happens in the midpoint of this episode? We get the helper girl, don't we?
No, that's in the fourth episode.
Okay. What happens in the midpoint of this one?
I don't quite remember because I remember the spiel and then I remember the end.
Yeah,
just because it was very impactful.
I
Because
don't at all remember the middle.
anyway, let's just skip to the middle. There's some talking with the reporter, with his policeman friend. Two characters are going to be more important
Hmm.
because they're still alive and they're going to help him out.
Yeah, basically, as far as what I'm willing to bet happens is they basically just talk for a while about like what's going on with the case
Yep.
and like their suspicions is what I'm willing to bet it's all that
There's a lot of
happens.
talking in the show. Basically, that's all it
But
is.
it happened at the end, or the beginning of the end is the reporter, the other police officer, and Holden are all in a bar together when a special news report comes across, because they realize that the people who have interacted, or Holden realizes that the people who have interacted with Linda McCartney have all killed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so he realized that he doesn't want to kill himself, but the other dude, the stenographer, may want to kill himself. So when he calls up looking for him, he can't find him. He has gone, AWOL from his job. And at that same time, a special report comes across the news. There are 60 people standing on the edge of one of the huge ass buildings in the middle of town, looking like they're going to jump off the building to their death. And right in the middle, we see the stenographer from the police interrogation room.
Fun fact: they all jump.
Yeah, they all jump at the end of this.
Yep. During a monologue from our new mayor about how people should be allowed to kill themselves.
Yeah, which is part of what I want to like talk about with this. Is like I don't really understand what his point is. Like suicide should be legal. I mean, is it not? Maybe this is a Japan thing, but like as far as I'm aware, you can kill yourself. Like they're not going to send you to jail
I don't
because
know.
it didn't. I just didn't get it.
I think it's like I think it's the difference between like state sanctioned suicide. Like there was that one guy. I think he was like a scientist who went to
Angel
Australia.
Death.
No, not the No, not the Angel of Death. It was the recent, like from last year. This scientist went to Australia because he had like a terminal illness and he just like wanted to die. So he went to Australia and they did it for him and he died. He like basically euthanized him.
Oh,
It's like
well,
that.
yeah, that's what they talk about. They talk about this in the fourth episode with
Yeah.
the 3% of people who support suicide, and they're thinking about passive and active euthanasia.
Yes, I think
And,
that's
like
what's about. I'm not
that's,
sure.
but I mean that's not like what happens though. Like it's not government sanctioned suicide in the government is pushing you off the building or something. This is just like yeah, people jumped off the building or jumped in front of trains and stuff like that. Like they just killed themselves. Like I just didn't get it. I didn't understand what was being allowed, basically.
It might also be like just a piece to the rest of what's supposed to be going on.
Maybe. I
'Cause-
thought that was okay. Here's what I was thinking it was going to be was right as this whole like jumping off the building thing happens. We also have our IT guy back in the lab talk to us about the encrypted file on the doctor's computer, and that it was for a drug, a sleeping pill,
We're
where
banana
it
fish
made
again,
you.
boys.
Yeah, we're banana fish again. It makes you go to sleep and never wake up. And so I was thinking of it more as like he's trying to monetize suicide.
That's
Or
what it
like
might
he's
be. Like that might be part of it.
yeah, that might be where it's going. We'll see if it gets there or not. But like when we first started off with like the doctor's notes and we heard about the sleeping pill thing, like I was expecting it to pretty quickly go into like, oh yeah, there's gonna be the suicide pill. But we haven't gotten there yet. Maybe this will come out like right before the election to try and like turn how people think about it or something. I
Yeah,
don't
'cause
know.
it's in like the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It could
But
also be like not trying to stop people from committing suicide too is probably
maybe.
part of it as well.
I mean this is also, in the canon of the show, people generally are not supportive of the suicide thing that he's got going down. So like I guess a lot of people are looking at it like this is fucking stupid, dude. Like this
Yes,
makes no sense.
but he's also oddly confident because in the fourth episode, they think that he's gonna bring up this vote in a discreet manner to try to like secretly pass it by, but instead he
Mhm.
just boasts about it, and like they're kind of sus. They're wondering what's gonna go down. Like, why is he so upfront about it?
Well, that's why like now as I think about it, the plan may be to drop the suicide pill like right before the
Yeah,
vote to get people thinking about it not in terms of like people jumping off of buildings anymore, but thinking about it in terms of just like active
taking a pill and
euthanasia,
yeah,
where like you just decide like I want to die, and so you just take the pill and die. So maybe that's where it's going, where like that's where he's going to try and turn public support right at the edge. It would be interesting. It would probably work. It could plausibly work. I'll say that.
Here's a quick other side bit. Do you
Uh,
think the new helper girl, is Linda? Oh, we didn't talk
oh,
about this, but Linda can like shapeshift into different women.
oh yeah. So that was where the Linda McCartney joke came from in my mind. Was it's actually an extension of a BMS joke. Um, where yeah, she can turn into a whole bunch of different women to become whoever you need her to be, and that in meeting her, you get so satisfied you kill yourself. Is the joke is because Lyndon McCartney is the wife of Paul McCartney, who he met pretty much right before he left the Beatles and joined a band called Wings instead. And so basically the
Well,
joke.
Paul's already dead though. He died a while ago.
Oh yeah, obviously. But the joke is that most girls are like Yoko Ono, where, you get with them and they're crazy. Linda McCartney makes you so satisfied that you just quit trying. You just give up on life. You leave the Beatles and you join Wings instead.
All right, that works.
That's the extension of the Linda McCartney joke is from BMS, where Alex Moran makes the same joke. But yes, so that's why she's Linda McCartney, is because she makes people so satisfied with their lives that they just have nothing left to live for, so they just commit suicide.
Okay. Anyways, back to the new girl. Is she?
Is she Linda?
Yeah, she Linda.
I don't think so, because they talk about her as the one dude's daughter, and we meet the dude, and he's like, "Yeah, my daughter, who's working for you." So like, unless he's part of the conspiracy, like, I don't think she is.
I don't think she's either. When
When she first showed up, I was like, "It's Linda. It's
Yeah.
definitely gonna be Linda." Like, I
don't-
full
I
on
don't trust
expected it
you.
to be her. But like, as soon as we met the actual dad, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my daughter who's working for you," like he was in on it clearly. Like, he knew what was going on. I was like, maybe she's not. Like, maybe this is legit that dude's daughter.
Okay. Something else that I found kind of fascinating that this one dude mentioned in on Reddit is in the poster. Now Fumi on the far right looks like he's hanging himself with the design of the poster,
Oh, it does, yeah.
and the guy on the left looks like he's getting shot in the head,
Uh-huh.
and Helper Girl is getting her head cut off. So people are suspecting that that's how they're all gonna die. One gets her head cut off, one gets shot in the head.
Huh. It would be it's a very cool way of depicting it.
It would be very interesting if that actually happened, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that comes to fruition. But anyways, more on the new Helper Girl. She also is kind of suspect about something. Not that she's suspect, but she's suspecting something. She's like giving the side eye to Holden over here. So like I don't think entirely trusting of him. I don't know what
Yeah.
her angle is yet.
She doesn't like him for some reason.
Yeah.
He immediately keys in on it when she walks in.
Even in the poster, she's like giving him the side eye and like further away from everyone else.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah. She's clearly not super jazzed to be there, but yeah, we'll see.
Part of it, I think, has to do with the fact that they're kind of investigating her uncle.
Yeah.
So
I probably wouldn't be super jazzed about that either.
yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
But she does also, she seems
Work.
like a pretty solid worker
Yeah.
in terms of like, they see the special news report about a video goes up online and she pulls it up immediately.
As I mentioned before, she's a very good employee, very good detective person. They're not actually detectives; they're prosecutors.
Yeah, prosecutors. I'm sorry. I think of them as police for some reason.
The guy on the far left is a detective, though.
Yeah, he's legit the police. The other two are just prosecutors, and then she is prosecutor assistant, I guess.
I think just no. Now Fumi and her share the same job.
Oh, they're both assistants.
Yes,
Or-
it was kind of dickish of Holden to be like badmouth Nafumi like 2 days after he died.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It's like, oh yeah, she's a better assistant than he ever was. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, your friend is like not even cold to the ground. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
Take a chill pill.
it really seemed like they actually cared about each other too. Like in the first couple episodes, like they had like a little bond going on, and he just fucking comes out with, yeah, he's kind of a fucking dickhead.
He was a lazy piece of shit.
Anyways,
I
they
mean,
cast-
it was shockingly like brutal from
Yeah.
him. It kind of made me think like maybe he's not dead,
Yeah.
but like we saw his dead body, so he's got to be dead.
I mean, we
I
didn't
don't
see
know.
his face.
It's true, we didn't. We'll find out.
How are you liking the show so far?
Other than not fully understanding the whole suicide thing that's going on, like the mystery part of it is super cool. Also, the fact that we'll see next episode, but Linda may be dead, although it's probably not actually going to be Linda.
Oh, did we see like a thingy? Like here's the next episode. On the next episode.
Oh no! At the very end of the fourth episode, he holds up a file with Linda's actual name on it. It just looked to me like an autopsy report
Oh, okay.
because like it had like the cutout skeleton of like, or not a cutout skeleton, but like it had like a picture of a person from the front and the back where like you would point it like got stabbed here, got
Yeah.
shot here,
Like
like
injuries or something, or
yeah.
surgery marks.
It could be what it is. I don't know. We'll find out next episode like what the file actually is. Because I can't read Japanese. I have no idea what the fuck it said. All like all my thing translated was the person, like the name, where it was like it's Linda. So
Oh,
like
that
all I know
reminds
is
me.
it's a file with Linda's name on it.
She's a year
Where it
younger
had
than I
a
am.
giant. She's a year younger than you.
Exactly a year younger than I am.
Ugh. God damn it. I mean, she's like a
It-
year
it-
and a half younger
Literally in
than
the canon of the show, we share the same birthday.
me. Wow.
Yeah, interesting.
Solid. Yeah, it had like a giant red hole, like, or giant red circle right on her stomach. So we'll see.
Stomach or ovaries?
Like stomach.
Stomach. Okay, I guess
Like,
this has to be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. It may not be it may not be an autopsy report. It may just be like a surgery thing. So we'll see. Maybe she has like an implant or something. A tracking thing.
Let's her become different people.
Yeah. The transformation implant. She's actually a mutant.
She's Mystique.
That'd be legit. Though she would need blue skin for that.
Not all the time.
It's true.
Well, anyways, that was Babylon, and we're on to our next show, Saving Private Mash,
Saving
aka
Private Mash,
something
aka
something Cautious Hero.
Cautious Hero something. In which we have Mash immediately run away and somehow get kidnapped through means that are not explained, I'll be honest.
I'm pretty sure. I think he runs away into the Crane Castle to fight,
Oh,
and
is
then
that where okay.
and then fucking Death McGalgal blah, blah, blah is just there, and he's like, "Cool, well, all right, I'll
Thanks.
take it. Thanks for coming alone.
Without your sister.
You fucking
Thanks.
you fucking 12-year-old child.
Yeah.
Fuck you gonna do? Stab me?
Said by man who was not stabbed because Mash is an idiot.
Yep.
So yeah, Mash is kidnapped almost immediately after being shut down by our hero because ostensibly the logic is you're all weak fucks and I don't need you. Sort of more privately, the logic seems to be I don't need you to die for me. Which, I mean, again, sort of ties into the I can respect this hero. At the same time, in the same scene, we have the Knight Captain as he's like, please protect us from the army of 10,000 undead people. And our hero's like, so you're going to pay me for that, right? And you're going to, like, write on a piece of paper that you're going to pay me for that so that you pay me for that.
I mean, man needs compensation.
He reminds me of The Witcher. Where, like, anything that goes wrong, people are like, Witcher, save us. And Geralt's like, yeah, so how much are you going to pay me?
Not after being so fucking racist to me. Fuck all of you. If I remember right, that's
Speaking
part
of
of the
The Witcher,
games,
though.
right? They're kind of like
Oh, yeah,
prejudiced
they're
against
super
Witcher.
fucking prejudiced against The Witcher.
Yep. Or against Witchers.
Witchers, yeah. It's become singular because like most of them die.
No.
There's 2 of them left in the 3rd game. Well, except for Ciri because weird Witcher logic.
But she's not a Witcher.
Not technically. She goes through most of the trials. She just doesn't go through the last one because she wouldn't survive, and because she's too important is what she is. So like she gets all of the Witcher training up until the transformation thing,
Mm-hmm.
where yeah she doesn't get the mutations.
Yes, because if I remember right, only men can pass it.
Yes. Ciri also has weird like,
Magic
she's
power
like
things.
yeah weird magic power things, and she's part elf and she's also a princess, so like if she died it would be real problematic for the Witchers, so like they just kind of for a variety of reasons elect to not give
Okay.
Ciri the Witcher thing.
Understandable.
I kind of do think it is also like an only men can pass it sort of thing, but I'm not 100% confident on that one.
Well, anyways, Cautious Hero.
Yeah, so he shuts that shit down. Also gets his contract to be paid for killing the 10,000 undead things. And after getting his contract signed, goes off to fulfill it immediately because, got to make that paper.
Yeah, why not? This is my favorite fucking joke. Where okay, so for the longest time, for some reason, I watched this show. I watched this show like I watched episode 1, I think last week Monday,
Uh-huh.
and then binged the rest yesterday. But from Monday to yesterday, I swear that fucking Rizart, right? Or I think it's Rizart. The angel's name or the goddess's name was Healy. For some reason, I just understood it to be Healy. And I remember I had a dream about it, thinking that that was a stupid fucking name. And then I watched it on Saturday, and her name wasn't Healy, and I've been wondering where the fuck I got that from for the longest time. I still don't know. I don't know what made me think she was Healy.
No.
I
mean, maybe the fact that she can only heal people.
I'm pretty sure I've like named one of my RPG characters Healy because that's all they fucking did.
Maybe that's a you thing. It's definitely not her name. Her name is Restart.
I know there's a slime that you get in a game that no one fucking played called I think Dragon Quest Monster Hunter. I think it is.
What a solid name. Okay.
I think it is. It might not be it. Or Dragon Quest Monster Rancher? I don't remember. But you get a little slime, and his name is just Heal. And
wow.
That's it. It's his fucking name.
Okay. That's a thing that exists in the real world.
Yeah. But anyways, she becomes Reset with wings, or Resart with wings. And once again, she shows off how fucking useless she is. So, of this show, my most favorite part is her character. And just how much fun the voice actress has depicting her.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, she just goes off in, like, the wildest fucking directions. It's fucking fantastic. It's a joy to watch her.
I love it especially because
or listen to her.
The voice actor simultaneously tries to depict, like, this is a voice actor, this is a goddess who's, like, trying to be a goddess and, like, act all haughty and, like, important like a goddess. And at the same time is getting fucking dicked on by this hero.
And is a thirsty motherfucker. And she flips on a fucking dime. Like,
I know, it's so good.
So fluid.
But yeah, we have Restart with wings, and then we have Restart with super wings, where she basically yells at herself so that she doesn't give up.
And then we have Restart with her tits out.
And then we have Restart with her tits out. And oh my god, that was one of my favorite jokes. Something about, like, the effect of, like, her actual it was just flopping around with the fucking sensor, like the mosaic sensors. Like, it was just so well done.
I think
the voice actress is just fucking, like, screaming at the top of her lungs in the background of the whole thing.
Oh my god, that was fucking fantastic. I was rolling.
It was so fucking good. And this comes directly on the heels of her once again going into her, like, thirsty motherfucker, like, nobody can see us, I can get away with this.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and kiss this boy right now. Yeah. This show is... there are moments in which I'm like, it's sort of like a low-tier isekai, and then it has moments like that where I'm reminded once again why I love this show.
In my opinion, everything with Zart is fantastic. Anything with Zart talking with Seiya. Fucking, like, genius. Fantastic. Seiya fighting, I mostly just tune that stuff out. Like, there's not much I ever really garnered from it. Aside from Zart, like, making like, a kind of some jokes every once in a while, and that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when they're fighting the fire demon that we'll get into later, the best joke was him just talking about all the fucking hair he pulled out, or he, like, found from her.
Oh, yeah.
And how that keeps coming back. Which
but
they set up, which is funny enough.
We fly off and kill 10,000 undead people with a meteor.
Yep.
And then we hit them with a second meteor, because why not?
Yep.
And then they did also have the moment of, like, he complains about having lost a whole bunch of MP, and we find out that he only lost, like, about 10% of his MP.
Yeah, just about 10-15%.
And then it kind of got me to, like, a thought process of, like, if MP is, like, the logical equivalent of, like, your stamina, basically, and, like, in terms of, like, how much you can do stuff. If you lost 10% of your stamina, like, how much would it actually affect you? I kind of think, like, if I'd lost 10% of my stamina all of a sudden, over the course of, like, maybe a minute or two, I would also be kind of annoyed about that. Like, I'd be kind of, like, winded and, like, like, probably have a headache.
I think you definitely feel winded. Maybe a headache, yeah. That'd be like doing a sprint.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah. I don't think it'd feel great.
yeah, you could recover from it, but like in the moment of like I just lost 10% of my total stamina over the course of 1 minute, like you would kind of be pretty like, this sucks. Like I didn't want this to happen, especially if you were used to being able to like do all the shit that he can do normally, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is what it feels like to be sort of winded again
Yeah.
for the first time in a while. Um,
I wonder how you would quantify like energy in like a person,
yeah,
right? Well, there's an actual way, but like the feeling of energy is hard to quantify.
yeah, especially because like there is the limit of how much you can actually do and the limit of how much I want to do at any one time. Like if you were like life or death, lift this box as many times as possible. I could probably lift a lot more than if you were like, yeah, just go ahead and lift that box as many times as you know want to or
No.
can do.
That would be how many lifts I could do. No.
No, 0. Go ahead and pencil me in. I'm done.
So after they, fight the horde of zombies and immediately kill it, they head off they go to like a little hotel, motel type thing, where we get Seiya doing his little like transmogrification shit. Basically, he's just mixing shit. He mixes the guy's hair with a sword and makes a platinum sword, which is really strong. And she like goes off like, "Oh, you made something fucking strong," blah 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 blah. Basic RPG mechanics, whatever.
Yeah.
But then we get the mirror, and in the mirror, it's a magic mirror. We get to see what's going on behind it, and that is Death Maga blah blah blah. It is bind, torturing, killing. A little mash.
Bring it back around.
I shouldn't really bring that up. It was awful.
There
what happened.
was a connection.
There was a connection. It was an awful connection, and I feel bad about
Not the
making
one
it.
we wanted. Yeah. So this begins the saving Private Mash section of it because we find out Mash has been kidnapped and is going to be killed by Death blah 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 blah. So Seiya uses another sword that he synthesized with the goddess's hair and time slashes the dude's arm off.
I'm not sure why he just didn't slash his head off.
Okay, yeah, I was there too. Didn't understand that one at all.
Like, why not just kill him and
Yeah.
then safely go find Mash?
But for whatever reason, he just slices his arm off, and then they teleport back into the god realm, where he uses some like math logic to be like, all right, by the time he recovers, finds a knife, and stabs the dude, it'll be like 10 seconds. Which, I mean, yeah, I can kind of believe that.
I would also just say that we've got like a little bit of time to go find some shit because we're in the time realm and
Yeah.
stuff happens.
So they have about 100 times the 10 seconds to figure out where Mash is and get there. So he goes off to interrogate the head goddess and basically says, look, you're not technically helping me. You're just opening a portal that happens to be where I need to go. Which is a line of logic which, in a court of law wouldn't uphold. The judge definitely wouldn't look at that and be like, I'll believe this. I'll let this one slide. But, whatever. It's God logic. They want to help him, so they just do, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck it, sure, dude, whatever. You didn't have to say all that garbage. Here you go.
You don't have to ostensibly threaten me. So she opens up a portal. They both go off back to there. If I remember correctly, Seiya actually manages to be human and say thank you for once.
Maybe, I don't remember. They go in, they show up. Seiya immediately starts fighting Death Malaga, blah, blah, blah. And Rizark goes to heal the little Mash. After that, we get a fight between like this fire fucking demon that can't be killed without ice or with. Basically, Death blah 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 says hit him with like some weird ass fucking punching ability, freeze him, and then punch him again. That's the only way to fucking kill this shit. And then Seiya's like, "Why'd you tell me that?" And Death blah 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 is like, "I'm not entirely sure. I thought I was supposed to." And so he does the exact same thing he just told him to do.
I do love Seiya's reaction of like, I prepared in my head so many things for this, and you just told me what to do. You're an idiot. You claim to prepare like for every eventuality, and you tell me how to beat you. Are you a fucking idiot? So yeah, Seiya is probably going to be, I think one of the like running jokes of this is that all of the demon generals are going to claim to be super prepared and prepare for every eventuality, and Seiya's just going to get more and more pissed off as he goes through it. And like, you guys don't prepare for anything. You're just telling me how to beat you every time.
This isn't
not
fun anymore.
hard. So I'm fully expecting that to be a running joke, is they just tell him how to win and claim that they're super prepared. But yeah, he does the combination move that he has to beat the death fire thing, and then basically blows up death blah 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 in Super Hellfire Explosion Ultra Nova whatever. And we've saved Private Mash.
Yep. Episode end. Wow.
Yeah.
That was another spawn.
And we also get some jokes about the goddess maybe going bald from all the hair that has been stolen from her.
Yeah, but she has a lot of hair. I mean, pieces fall off all the time. I actually like the hair just falls off of me sometimes too. Like at work, because I have a standing desk. Like there's like a little space under the keyboard rest. I lifted it up one time and there's just a bunch of my hair from my head just there. I'm like, where the fuck does all this come from? Also, know that like I will, not meticulously, but like compulsively like pull on my hair when I'm doing something.
Ooh, yeah, that's probably not great for not pulling your hair out in clumps.
Well, to be fair, most of it has already, like, the hair that I'm pulling out has already fallen off. It's just, like, stuck, intertwined between my actual hair. If that makes sense. I have a full head of hair, though, so who really gives a shit? I will be going bald in my 40s, though, given what happened to my dad.
You're going to give a shit in, like, 20 years.
Whatever, I'll just do what my dad did and just start shaving it all off.
I look forward to that day when you go for the full Mr. Clean look.
I'll just put on a toupee. I'll actually just like get some black hair or black spray paint and just put it on like the dome of my head. get a little fake coconut head cut.
This is where before you get to that stage, you have to get important enough where you can just go to work with like a bandana on over it.
I mean, I've done that before.
Somebody call me out on this.
I've gone with headbands before. No one's said anything yet, so. Once again, the perks of working at a yuppie establishment.
It'll change if you want to work for a bank, though. They have expectations of you.
Not Capital One. And that was Cautious Hero.
Fuck. Yeah. Continues to be very funny when they're not fighting, basically.
If it's not, yeah, anything that's not fighting is pretty great. Everything else, I already said that. Never mind. Whatever. Let's move on.
Which is kind of a lot what Konosuba had too. Konosuba, the fights weren't like super incredible most of the time.
No, but like
it was pretty much just like Megumin, blow that up. Aqua, purify that. Like the fights in it were kind of flat in terms of like what happened. It was just the jokes that sort of revolved around the fights.
Yeah, like
it knew what it was, so there wasn't as long of fights as there is in this. Like there was more downtime, and like the fights were like a minute or like a minute and a half at most. Where this is like the fight was probably 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, and it's just like it wasn't even a lot of like fighting. It was just a lot of back and forth talking.
Yeah.
I think my favorite fight there's two Konosuba fights that are like the one is the cabbages come and attack, and Darkness just stands there taking all like the little hits.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was I think when Aqua decides to use like her purifying beam, and like that episode they just spent their entire fucking budget making the sparkles for the purifying beam. Right, because it was like her special god punch or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it does fucking nothing.
It was like the last episode of season 2 or whatever.
I think she ends up breaking the dam and flooding the village.
I think so. Something like that. But yeah, Konosuba knew what it was about. It didn't have the fights being nearly as long as this show, which is sort of unfortunate. I wish the show also knew what it was, or knew what it was supposed to be, and sort of toned down how long the fights were. But I'll take what we can get.
Yep. So, this dickhead aside, let's move on to our next dickhead, aka Joro Water Bucket. Water jug. No, it's what the fuck are the things called they use to put water on flowers?
Watering can?
Yeah, watering can. For some reason I thought there was one word for it, like a single word. But I guess
Oh, like a one-word thing?
Yeah, I don't think it does have a one-word thing. I think it's just a watering can. Whatever.
I think so.
Oresuki, aka something, you're the one who loves me, whatever. One of those weird-ass fucking light novel names.
Despite the fact that I think they've said it like twice now in the show, I still don't remember it.
Yeah, but, they name dropped it enough, but whatever, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So, have you read all of the manga? Some of the manga? Not very much of it?
I read the first chapter and I was like, this seems interesting enough. I'll watch it. Or I'll watch it. Have you read it?
No.
Okay.
I I looked up
Where it's going?
one or two things. Not where it's
Okay.
going. After I watched an episode, I went back. After I watched episode, I don't remember 3, but after his friend betrays him, before it gets better, when he opens his shoe locker and looks at his shoes and they're like bedazzled and shit. I was like, as it was building up to that, I was like, I know where this is going. And then like, he opens this thing and it's bedazzled. I was like, okay, this is not the type of show where I was expecting the like, subversive expectations joke here. So like, I had to go look at the actual manga to see what the joke was. Predictably, it was building up to his locker was full of thumbtacks, or his shoes were full of thumbtacks.
I'm glad they changed it to this in the anime, because it was pretty funny just seeing the Bizarre stuff, and also the little golf like miniature on his desk.
It was funny, and at the same time, like it wasn't the tone I was expecting from the show. Like the tone isn't like absurdist comedy in this show. So like those are way more like absurdist kind of jokes. Like I'm getting bullied, my shit's bedazzled, people are leaving miniatures on my desk. Like that's way more of an absurdist comedy joke, and like it just didn't fit the tone. Like it was funny, it still like made me
I
laugh.
feel like it does, because there are a lot more absurd moments that happen, in my opinion.
Like what?
Basically, when they break the fourth wall and talk about how the animation budget sharply decreased just for the guys, and then it immediately gets better for the women. The whole thing with the bench,
Yuri versus Yaoi thing.
the whole thing with the bench. I think those are the two instances I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
Okay. The budget thing, I kind of understand.
Mm-hmm.
The bench thing is just like there's benches in a whole bunch of places. It just is always the same bench. Like it's not always implied to be the same bench, it's the same style of bench. Like it's not yet in that quantity of like it's the one bench that's always following him around for some reason. Like it's not quite at the same level of absurdity as like the bedazzled shoes and the miniatures thing. Like I kind of see what you're thinking about. I don't know. It's just the bedazzled shoes and the miniature were like so off base that like it just didn't make sense in the tone of the show, which again goes back to it wasn't in the original thing. Like it was not in the style of comedy that the author was originally shooting for.
Well, the manga is an adaptation of the light novel, so I don't know what happened in the light novel.
That's a good point. Maybe the light novel they did this and the manga changed it.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
No idea.
But yeah. So Orisuki, and you have not watched or read very much of it. Okay. That changes it a little bit. So I was gonna ask if in the manga they played up more of the fact that she's a stalker. So going into it, all I knew was that she was a stalker, and she admits to being a stalker.
Yeah, and that's really only for the first episode.
They didn't really like play into that very much, which sort of left me wondering, like, maybe they play more into it in like the light novel or the manga and stuff. But I don't know. We may or probably will not find out later, or look it up. All right. I had to somewhat rapidly change how I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Because you gave me your impressions of the first 3.
Yes, you can give it some time.
Okay.
I'll mark it down. Oh, there's still some water left in my lungs. I do think that the whole stalker thing in that first episode was more of like a kind of a macabre joke for our main character.
Okay. All right.
There's like nothing really gets taken too seriously in the show. There's moments of drama, but immediately followed by like a lot of levity.
Yeah. Talk about that. All right. So we'll talk about her and the romance side. It'll have to change slightly because I don't know how much of a stalker she is, and then we'll talk about episode 4. All right. I think I'm good.
Let's ding it, ring it.
All right.
Go. I don't know.
We'll see if I can string this together coherently.
Fuck it. I never do.
That's fair. And we're not a formal podcast, so who really gives a fuck? So I wanted to talk about like going into this. I had like the mentality of she's a stalker, crazy person, my own life experiences aside. And like I knew a little bit about like the more like public perception of her as like, you know, people liked her as a waifu, like a love interest for the character. Like she was regarded in the community as like one of the better waifus of the season and like stuff like that. So like, you know, going into it, I was like, people are crazy. She's an insane stalker person. And then like watching these 4 episodes, it sort of allows you to forget. Like they play into it in the first episode with
Yeah.
like not only is she admitting that she's a stalker, but like she's in the background of a whole bunch of different scenes, like very obviously following this kid.
And then it becomes like a non-issue afterwards.
Yeah, and then it becomes a non-issue afterwards, which is kind of why I was interested. Like if it is
Builds
more
up
of a
to anything?
thing, yeah.
No idea. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry.
And like she knows about like his real personality and all that, and like how he actually thinks, like what his actual plans are in terms of like getting his harem and all that. Like she understands who he actually is, which like is to some extent a personality that he only really had when he was alone before meeting her.
Mm-hmm.
So like clearly the stalking thing is more than just like following him when he's out with his friends. Like it's a deeper like, you know, spying on him in his house sort of stalking that like we just sort of don't see and gets glossed over. And like watching it, because we don't see that outside of the first episode where she follows him on those, you know, 2 dates that he goes on, we can kind of just sort of forget about the fact that she's,
Fucking cuckoo bananas.
yeah, a crazy person, and instead just sort of focus on like who she is and her personality, like that she depicts when she's with him. And like I kind of at times found myself starting to understand why people looked at her as like such an attractive, you know,
That's how she gets you, Nick.
character.
That's how she gets you.
I know, like that's the thing though. Like this is how it works. Is like, and this is what I wanted to talk about was like the personality type, like why she's so attractive to people is because she is representative of like what guys want to find in terms of like somebody to go out with, is like because she is completely accepting of who this guy actually is. Because like it's one of the components of dating is like you begin to accept I can't just be me, I have to be the version of me that other people will want to talk to. Like I am inherently not a great person, I understand that, and I've come to terms with that. I've also come to terms with the fact that if I act like that to other people, I won't get laid. So I've created a version of myself, which is the version that is, this is Nick, who can hold a conversation with somebody and is actually somewhat interesting and a nice person. It's not 100% me, but it is somewhat me. And like, the perfect person is that person who's like, you don't have to compromise who you are for. And that is why I think we as viewers, as we watch her and like watch how they interact, like we want her to succeed despite the fact that she's a fucking crazy person, because she is the person you want to find in terms of like she accepts you completely and doesn't ask you to change. She like is perfectly willing to allow this kid like, yeah, be the, you know, normal dismissive sort of dickish wants to have a harem person that you normally are. Just be that person with me. I love that person. Like that is the personality type everyone wants to find in a woman, and you forget that she's a fucking crazy person. And like I feel like I can't emphasize this enough, is this girl is straight out insane. There's a reason why normal people are not like that. It's because it's weird, and this is how abusive relationships start. Because this lady, it starts with I accept you for who you are, and it ends with I'll beat you until you become the person I want you to be.
Oh no, we went down a wrong path here.
Yeah.
I just like their banter together.
I mean, this is more like we're getting into like Nick's going to have a TED talk about, you know, abusive relationships and how that starts, and my dating history.
PTSD starts.
It was not abusive; it was just on the edges of abuse. Although there was an event that could be quantified as abuse. We won't talk about that. I told you about that, Brendan. But anyways,
I should laugh.
you shouldn't. It was fucked up. It was dark. But yeah, fuck. Now I'm laughing. I'm laughing at myself too.
We'll tell that story some other day with certain parts cut out.
Yeah, certain parts to cut out. Certain specific words that got said that I can't say on a podcast with my name associated with it if I want to ever get a job. And that should raise some eyebrows seeing some of the other things I willingly said on this podcast. There are now 2 episodes, I think, in which I've used a racial slur.
I'm surprised you haven't used the word engine yet.
It got close. There was one. I think I did last episode, if I remember correctly, actually.
Oh shit, that's where it came from. Yeah, you did.
When we were talking about the smallpox blankets. I
Yep.
think I did.
Yep, alright. Well, let's gloss over that real quick.
Yeah. I apologized for that almost immediately. As I realized that the bit didn't work because I was specifically me and had to apologize for that one immediately.
So you wanted to talk about crazy person, what's her face? Big Tits
Crazy
McGee.
Yeah. Boob raps. Yeah.
And then you
the
want
fact
to
that she's a crazy person.
Yes, aside from that.
Then
Keep on.
okay. So is there anything you discussed episode 1, 2, and 3. Is there anything else you want to bring up now that we both watched it, or are you good on episode 1, 2, and 3?
I like the fact that she bought the bench to have inside the library.
It was a solid thing. I
Also,
love that they showed the empty box,
Yeah.
indicating that she very clearly got that today.
she got
Just for
upset.
this.
And in that scene, they're playing basically a uncopywritten version of Darth Vader's theme.
Oh right, yeah. I was also gonna bring this up. I forgot about that, but yeah, it's like just changed enough at like the critical parts where it's not Vader's theme, but you know exactly what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. I don't know if they did it like on purpose to be Vader's theme, or if they just, it was ominous music and they're like, that sounds ominous music, and just didn't think of the connection. I don't know.
I'm pretty
what's going
sure
on there.
it was meant to be, because in this latest episode, they do the same thing where they play another. I forget who. I think it was a Star Wars theme. When the bench shows up again.
Yeah, I think it's also Vader's theme.
Maybe I
I think
remember.
it's the same. I think it's the same one when the bench shows up. I have to go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So
Talking
if
about more
there's
abusive relationships.
yeah,
Reporter
if there's
Girl.
nothing
We're
else,
gonna get to
let's
that
talk
later.
about episode 4
Oh, okay.
now with Reporter Girl.
I think it might be episode. Oh yeah. Oh, episode 4 she gets introduced. Episode 5 is the one we just watched.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we met Reporter Girl after things sort of get better. We see that she, is sort of clingy and wants to hear more. We get the backstory of this whole flower dance thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then we now have episode 5 in which he has to figure out how to not get this story published about him, basically.
Yeah, basically letting Reporter Girl do whatever she wants around him.
Mhm.
Basically follow him around. Sanctioned stalking this time around. Sanctioned.
Yeah. It's investigative journalism, Brandon.
Yep. It's okay if you write a report about it.
Exactly. So she follows him around, does some investigation. The girls do some investigations on the side. We can talk more about the plot. Specifically, I want to bring up the fact that this is the single stupidest premise for an arc I think I've ever heard. It makes no fucking sense.
The dancing for the thing or the
No.
Okay.
The article.
Yeah.
The article that she wants to publish makes no fucking sense. She's like, yeah, I'm going to publish this article that says you're 3-timing with these 3 girls and leave their names out. Who cares? Like,
I guess a lot of people do. I don't know.
Yeah, like, she's going to, we see the girls after the article gets, like, falsely published where they're like, oh, I can't believe you're 3-timing on these girls. And the president shows up, says that he's not doing that. They ask her why she cares, and she just freezes. Just say you're one of the 3 girls in the article and you're not dating. That's all you have to say.
This is all they have to say.
The sum total of things you have to say is, oh yeah, we're not going out. This is a lie. This is a bald-faced lie. I'm not going out with him. Like, that's literally all it takes. You wouldn't lie about that if you were dating. You would, it just does not conceivably make sense that this is what she's chosen. If I was this kid, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and fucking publish that. We're going to tell people you're lying, and your newspaper's going to crash and burn. That's what's going to happen. I just don't fucking understand this arc. Like, I like the show. I love the comedy. This arc is so fucking dumb. Like, if they wanted to do something with the newspaper girl, make it at least a story that made plausible amounts of sense for why people would, believe it.
Yeah,
This news article is the easiest thing to refute. Or make your fake news so unbelievable that it's, hard to refute. Be like, the kid's an alien. Something like that, where, it would be hard as fuck to refute that. I just I'm so irritated by this arc. Like the first one with like Sun's whole thing where he was, influencing the
The long
girls to do that.
hexagon.
Yeah, like that was super cool. It made sense. Like it made sense why Sun was being oblivious at first and how he was exploiting them to do these things, to win this thing, to be better than his friend who one-upped him in middle school. Like I understood it all. It was super cool. It was super intricate. Like things made sense. This arc is so fucking dumb, and I'm upset that we got Sun's like,
Mildly
three
interesting one.
levels of yeah, 3 levels of deception, and now we have this fucking idiot, and we have the gigantic morons that is the fucking 4 of them who are all like, "What are we going to do?
Let's just not
How
talk
could-
to each other for a fucking month.
Yeah, let's not talk for a week and then still do the flower dance thing. What could possibly go wrong?"
The only way I can see it like working is. So first of all, Cosmos is a fucking idiot. Remember this. She was given a script and basically read out the instructions. Like it was the Black Panther moment of intrepidly, I am the boss. And like the fucking boom mic coming up in the fucking screen.
Black Panther member is inquisitive.
Yeah. I fucking love that scene. Aside from that, like he's also like people right now don't completely still like him after what he supposedly did. So they're more they believe the story more because they don't like him already, I believe is the logic of the show.
I get it, but still though, like make it a story that exclusively targets him. Like if it was a story that he alone had to refute.
Yes.
Like he goes off and beats up people from other middle schools or something. Like something where it's like there's not a clear and obvious like, oh, I just get these 3 people to testify on my behalf to the school that I didn't do this thing and I'm Gucci. Like if it was more of a he has to do it for himself and nobody believes him because everybody hates him, I would understand that. People hate him, they're not going to believe what he has to say, and there's nobody who could stand up to defend who the school respects. The school respects the president. His class respects his friend, and
They both don't say fucking shit.
yeah. And then there's Library Girl. Who cares about her? But I mean, those two,
I
like
do.
the school respects those two, and like they would listen to them. All they have to say is, "We're not
No.
dating. This is a lie." Like he's not 3-timing with us because we're not going out. That is the sum total of end, and this story is a non-starter. Like, make it something where he has to defend himself, and it makes sense. The fact that it's these specific girls that she's gonna target makes it too fucking easy to defeat as a story. I'm just supremely fucking irritated by this arc. I just wish it was something better.
It'll end next episode. I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
So we'll have that to look forward to.
Yeah. And obviously this time around, rather than Library Girl doing the stuff, it's gonna be President coming in with the investigation fucking breakdown of who did what when for what reason.
I'm gonna bet she's gonna fuck it up somehow.
I don't know. She really only seems to be, a fuck up when it comes to acting.
That's
As
true.
her and the fucking best friend cannot act to save their lives.
Oh, they're just fucking idiots.
I think my favorite little bit was the fucking when they were both trying to do the like, we're going to pretend like this so that you can ask Sun out, and the best friend delivers the dude's lines. Oh my god, they're both such fucks.
They are. And so that's Oresuki.
Yeah. And my complaints about the arc aside, I mean, it is fucking funny.
It is. It's just such a wonderful show. We didn't talk about our main dickhead. But he is such a fucking goon. I love him so much.
I love his commitment to the fucking hustle.
Right?
Where after everything that goes down, he's like, all right, back on track for the harem.
Not only that, but now he believes he's gonna get another member in his harem. I don't think that came through. He's gonna get another member.
Oh yeah.
Or he wants another member.
As soon as the newspaper club girl's like, I'm gonna follow you around, he's like, score!
Another one.
4th member. He's DJ Khaled. Another one.
And he's not gonna go down on any of them.
That's for fucking trap boyfriends and shit. I ain't about that life, hun.
Alright. Well, that was Oresuki. We'll go from, I don't know, crazy ass motherfucking teenager scheming, like Light Yagami type shit, to Aruma-kun, where some kid's just riding a fucking griffin.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
We went from their schemes and shit to we Saturday morning cartoons, fam.
Yeah, quite literally Saturday morning cartoon. I think I watched this on Saturday morning. I love it so
After
much.
you said it, like I was watching it through the lens of it's Saturday morning cartoons. Most of it was like pretty okay. And then that ending with the fucking circle that closed down on the ring, paused for a minute, and then full closed. I was like, oh my god, it's cartoons. I can't unsee it. Like all I could see, like, so I've read most of the manga that's come out.
Is it still child friendly?
Yeah, it's still child friendly.
Okay.
And like, we saw like the spirit thing. It gets like an actual body later, further down the line. We're probably gonna meet it at some point.
Okay.
And so like it pops out every once in a while to like talk to him. So like when the circle closed down and like paused in the ring, I was expecting the little spirit to pop out and like say something to us.
See you next time.
Yeah, I was full on expecting like the Porky Pig like see you next time, folks. Something like that.
I can't do it. I'm not gonna even try. Keep going.
But yeah, we have Aruma-kun, in which we basically say "fuck you" to all cliches ever, because
So
who needs like having an important backstory? Fuck that shit.
yeah, I just want to be the Demon King. Boom. Backstory finished.
I want to be the Demon King because it's badass. That's literally the logic to Sabunok,
Hi,
aka my favorite demon of all time.
Mac here with Project Badass.
We're here with Fight Milk, by bodyguards, for bodyguards. Made daily by bodyguards and Charlie. But yeah, Sabunok is 100% go time, 100% of the time.
Yep, so basically for the first half of the episode, he's just getting his shit pushed in by Big Ass Griffin. And he's just trying his darndest to, win him over. Thinking back to himself, all of his backstories that he could have had. But no, his sister's completely fine. His brother's, a blacksmith, I guess. I don't fucking know. So he can't,
Something like that.
he has no dead family that he can, latch onto. But he just wants to be a motherfucking king. And man's gonna be a motherfucking king at some point. But not really. It's gonna be Aruma, obviously.
It's absolutely gonna be Aruma.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, so after he gets his shit pushed in, we have Aruma gets dropped off by the Griffin baby that he saved last week.
Yep.
And he reunites the family, and they are thankful, so they give him a ride back to home base, where to the shock of everybody, he arrives riding on the back of the Guardian of the Valley, and people are, predictably shocked.
Yep.
Caligo is amazed that students aren't dead. I believe, oh fuck, what's his name? Alice.
Oh.
I believe Alice sheds a couple tears for how awesome Aruma is.
Alice? The blonde
pink-haired?
girl?
No, the pink-haired guy.
Asmodeus.
Yeah, Asmodeus. I'm sorry. His mom calls him Alice, and so in my head, I just call him Alice now.
Oh, we don't know that yet, Nick. Please, spoilers.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you who his mom is, or the fact that she's banging. But yeah, so we have the resolution to the race. We see where everybody falls in terms of their placements, and then we get our rankings.
Yep.
If you didn't notice, when Kalego pulls his out, he's 8th rank out of 10. So Kalego is super strong.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So
It's like hard to tell because
he just pulls it out and it doesn't tell you what rank it is. At least in the subs it said fucking debt or whatever, and I'm like, alright, well sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember the chart.
Like, he whips it out and you only see the symbol for a minute. It doesn't tell you what it is and see the chart. But yeah, in the manga they more explicitly say yeah, this is 8, in case you forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, Kalego is rank 8 out of 10.
So the majority of our students get rank 1 and 2, a couple get 3, and then Asmodeus gets 4.
Asmodeus gets 4, and then Aruma sticks his hand inside of the rank owl pocket and pulls out a ring.
A golden band, sir.
A golden band, I'm sorry.
It is the prophecy foretold that a foreigner would get a golden band out of the owl thing.
He would come from another land wearing a golden ring on his right hand.
Yep.
Or golden band on his right hand. So, Aruma, fulfilling prophecies already. So, he's well on his way to becoming the Demon Lord.
Yep.
And our golden band immediately grows a spirit.
And it just starts screaming.
And it just starts screaming. And everybody hears it. It
Everyone across the land.
lets the professor or the principal know that Aruma probably, got something kind of suspect out of the rank owl, so the president or the principal takes off to go see what's up. And in the meantime, our spirit settles down enough to decide it's going to just go ahead and absorb people's spirit energy because, it's hungry. It just woke up from
Yeah.
being inside the rank owl for a while. So it eats the spirit energy out of Sabinok, and then Asmodeus twice, because Asmodeus is too big of an idiot to realize that maybe she should just go ahead and stay down the first time.
Caligo sees all this and realizes, I should probably take that arm off.
Yeah.
I love Caligo.
When he reaches out and he gets the mental image from the spirit thing of, if you touch me, I'm going to take your arm off. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and return the favor first. I'm going to go ahead and blast you to Kingdom Come. So he goes back for the one finger slice.
He goes for the fucking death beam, the Frieza death beam.
He does go for the Frieza death beam. That's what it was. When he goes back with the one finger, I was like, there's a joke there about like the one finger thing. I just can't think of a character who does it. The Frieza death beam. That's a solid one. But yeah, he goes back for the one finger beam, and we have the principal who arrives just in time for a little bit of a catch the finger, one finger on one finger action.
Catch the finger, feeds the demon.
Feeds the demon, and Aruma's ring is satisfied for now. It sort of scankers back into its ring hideaway, and like I said, we'll see it again later. Because now Aruma has the ring of
being a
gluttony.
king.
Yeah, the ring of being a king. And also has now received rank 1, because since you don't have a rank, since you didn't get a rank out of the rank owl, you must be rank 1 is the logic.
I see it.
I kind of understand it. I mean, it also ties into the whole, if you got to go all the way from rank 1 to rank 10 to be the Demon King, there's a lot of opportunity for like rank up type events.
But Irumaku doesn't want to do that.
Oh yeah, Irumaku doesn't want to do that.
He's going to trip upwards.
Yeah. If only he was white in addition to being a male, he would be the archetype for failing upwards.
Nepotism. That's basically this fucking manga. Nepotism, the story of getting Aruma to go up to level 10 because he has a principal as a father.
Basically. I took the body of a 40-year-old white male for a reason. I can only fail up.
And that's basically all of Aruma-kun. So there was a very quick little moment in this episode that I fucking loved, and that is when Sabadok and Aruma are in the little fucking dunce corner, and I forget her name.
Valak.
Just throwing Clara just starts throwing rocks at him at Sabadok. Yeah.
Just chucking rocks over and over at his back.
Calls him a pig or something.
Yeah. Clara got rank 3 and has now become insufferable because of it.
I love Clara.
She's going to lord over all of the lower ranks because she is rank 3 and is therefore deserving of respect. I do love that her first thing to attempt to do is look at Asmodeus and be like, bow down to me, I'm rank 3. She's like, I'm rank 4, bitch, what are you doing?
I think the best part is that
power play.
The best part is that she didn't even race. She just hopped on Asmodeus and wrote everything.
To be fair, there is a fair amount of good thinking involved in that.
Yeah, she was at a peak performance by the time she got there because she wasted no fucking energy.
Yeah.
Boom. Strats.
Asmodeus got rank 4 because he was fast and demonstrated how strong he was. Clara got rank 3 because she demonstrated how clever she was in not trying and still showing up second. So I mean, I can understand why she got rank 3.
Also, she's got a broken ass ability.
She does have a boosted ass ability.
Fucking just destroy the economy with that shit.
That's why the fucking shop Jawas hate her.
Is it Jawas or just Jawa? I think just one dude. Or one thing.
I guess there was only the one Jawa.
Aside from,
but yeah.
I don't really have much else to talk about. This is just this is actually a Saturday morning cartoon. I fucking love this shit.
It absolutely is.
Grab some fucking cereal, munch down on it. If you have a kid, watch it with them because there's nothing that's too weird. It's nothing weird at all.
It's got some solid jokes in it.
Yeah.
Oh, things. Okay. Things that are different. We talked last time about the fact that there are some other characters, side characters that have shown up in the anime a couple times now. Like the
alien one-eyed thing.
Yeah, the alien one-eyed thing, and I'll be honest, I think the girl who's in love with Aruma. Don't remember her either.
Oh.
So we'll see what's going on with that. The other thing, and I forgot to mention this because I absolutely fucking love it, is that like that television thing that Kalego pulls out that like explains to them things that
with
he
with
hates.
the little heart that just keeps like fucking vibrating, like.
Yeah, that thing was not in the manga. I fucking love that thing. It is so fucking funny.
It just looks so nervous.
Anything that Kalego absolutely hates is such a delight. It's so like it's like the twitchiness of it, the fact that it talks in a like super happy voice all the time, the fact that it's a heart, like everything about that thing is so fucking good. I love that thing.
These are
Yeah, that
definitely
was
the instances where like adding something in adaptation really works.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they like nailed the tone with like the weird demon things that are just sort of like talking in the background and the fucking heart thing that's like twitching all over the place. Like it just works so well with the comedy of the show. I am so happy they added it. It's such a good addition. But yeah, I forgot to mention the heart thing last time, so I wanted to bring it up this time as yeah, this is another addition they added or another thing they added to it. So their additions continue to be top tier, and I hope there are more of them coming down the pipeline because they're so fucking funny.
We'll see. And thus ends, I guess, ABC.
Yeah,
Well,
there's not much
short and
else.
sweet for
We have
Revolution.
5 shows for the season, but yeah, 2 or 3 of them are probably going to be pretty quick every episode of ABC. So
Yeah, three are comedies. One's like a half of a comedy. Other one's gonna be like I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with that, but I anticipate depression happening.
yeah,
A lot of people are gonna die.
probably. I hope Linda comes back.
She has to. She's on
She
the
was
cover,
interesting.
Nick.
She is. I hope she's not dead. I don't want Linda to be dead.
We'll see what
Her
happens.
whole thing was interesting.
What would you like to sell out to today? What would you like to sell out to today? I need to say that with some more enunciation.
Huh, I'm gonna sell out to Gorilla Glue because apparently it has some effect of
gel?
how I sit. The glue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Gorilla Snot. A bunch of Latin Americans use it. It's annoying. Anyways,
Oh,
keep going.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it to Gorilla Glue, which is a adhesive product. It's really strong and relatively cheap, and so as an effect of I guess how I sit in my chair, the like edge
You
of the
broke it?
left armrest, yeah, is
Mm.
like broken a little bit.
Okay.
It's like ripped a little bit, and so I was like, I either want to rip this thing off and like be done with it because it's like tilted at just enough an angle where I put my hand down like I could feel it.
Uh-huh.
It was like an awkward feel. So I was like, I'm either gonna rip this off and have my chair look ugly, or I need to glue this shit back together. So I was like, I'm gonna just go buy some Gorilla Glue and see how this works out. Fucking slap some Gorilla Glue on there, let it set for a couple minutes as I like sat there and held it to make sure it like set in the right form. And then I went to sleep, woke up in the morning. Shit is fucking solid, like it never ripped at all. So thank you, Gorilla Glue, for saving me from having to rip a piece off of my chair so it doesn't look awkward as fuck now. So shout out to you, Gorilla Glue.
Cool.
You are really good at repairing all sorts of shit and not having me throw them away.
All right then. Well, I'm gonna sell out to Luigi because a new Luigi's Mansion came out this past week because it was for Halloween, and I've been playing it. Fucking love it. I adore it. I love Luigi's Mansion 1. Didn't play 2, but 3 is fucking great. So much fun. The puzzles are great. Although at sometimes it's very some of the jumps you had to make for some of the puzzles are a little weird. At least I didn't get them. Mostly because some of the mechanics weren't shown to you at some point. Instead, like fucking EGAD, the little scientist, will like tell you, but I turned off those hints because it was fucking stupid and annoying. That aside, it's so much fun. I love me some Luigi's Mansion.
That's kind of a weird choice to put like integral mechanics in optional hints.
It's on by default, but I wanted to play without the hints. And there's just a couple of moments where some of the mechanics were just... I could see like the jump you could make, but I didn't make them, and I felt kind of dumb not making them sometimes. At the same time, some of the jumps you had to make, I was like, this is stupid. This is like, I don't know how the fuck you get this if it's not told to you specifically, or if it wasn't shown to you before. Like one instance is you have to like teleport between TVs because the TVs connect different rooms, and the reason that needs to happen is because you can't take an object from one room to the other. because you can't go through doors with an object. Instead, you have to grab the object through vacuum and go through the TV. But we were never shown that you could do this before this like case. Like that wasn't a thing.
Okay.
So I was just looking around, wondering what to do, and I figured out that there's 4 sets in these like TV show type puzzle. You basically have to get like one item from one of the sets, go to the other set, perform some action, you get another item, and then you keep going until you get to the very end. Mm-hmm. So I've managed to figure that out. I just didn't know how to like do it. I didn't know how to actually do the thing. But eventually, I looked it up and I got it. I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's how you do it. But aside from that, it's been fun.
All right.
Yeah, cute and funny.
That's good.
There's a little dog, a little ghost dog that you play around with sometimes.
Oh.
And there's also a ghost cat that you beat the shit out of.
Wow.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't like cats apparently. Love dogs though. Then. And that's my sellout.
All right. Well, this has been yet another episode of ABC.
Yes.
I wish I could think of another way to end it other than saying either one of 2 phrases.
Well, whatever. Fucking peace out. Listen to us again if you listen to us this time.
Yeah. Hopefully you watch Babylon, because we just told you everything that happens in it.
Babylon is fucking awesome.
And all of the twists.